Hi Brewsters, Sean here. Today I'm going to make a ginger beer. We're going to use a Colony West brand, and these are the ingredients. It's going to be a tricked up ginger beer. It's going to be a little bit stronger in taste, and it's going to be stronger in alcohol than what they actually are suggesting. And what we're going to do is we're going to add these ingredients. So we're going to use a good amount of lemon juice. We're going to use 1,250 grams of sugar, so that's 1.25 kilograms. We're going to use half a jar, which is 250 grams of honey. I'm going to put some actual real ginger in it. Then we've got their ginger essence, and because I am doing such a high strength, I'm going to use 2 packets of yeast, and because I'm using a coarse sugar, I'm going to use the glucosamase enzyme, okay, which if you don't know, breaks down the sugar into smaller particles easier for the yeast to actually eat. So anyhow, there you go, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get into making this, and first of all what we're going to do is rehydrate the yeast. So I'll get into that, and we'll wait for the next stage. Okay, so we're going to do rehydration of the yeast. In this I'm using 2 cups of water because I'm using 2 packets of yeast. And what I'm going to do is make sure my water is sitting under 28 and in between 22 and 28 degrees. So I've got my trusty thermometer there, and that's right. And what we've got to do with this recipe is add 2 teaspoons of sugar. So I'll do that. And just remember, everything here is sterilised. So that's 1. And we'll say that's 2. Okay. Do that as well. Then we're going to get our yeast. That's 1. And 2. And we're better off to over pitch than under pitch. Okay. And then we'll give it a little stir. And then once I've stirred it through a little bit, and we get it a little bit wet and nice and done, I'll cover it with some Glad wrap. And I'll start making the other things, like melting down the sugar will be next stage. So we'll get to that when we get to that. So what we're going to do is, we're going to heat up some water, about a litre, a little bit more than a litre, and we'll put the honey in first. And this sterilises everything too, so that's what's one of the most important things. So I'll chuck that 250 grams of honey in. Ginger and honey go together well, I believe. I'll just stir my spoon clean. Water's getting pretty hot. And what we're going to do is chuck in a couple of tablespoons of this ginger. Okay, we go through. And we go through. Use up what we got. Okay, there we go. And give that a stir. So we've got that. And that's heating up nicely. Now what we're going to do is the sugar, and I've decided that I'm going to go with the raw sugar, cane sugar, because I'm using the gluco. That'll break down the molecules of this sugar better for the yeast to eat. Some people that do make normal beer, they do use that as well, depending on the sugar that they use. Some of the dextrose isn't as good a quality as what you like. Like, there's no brand names on the dextrose. So I do like certain qualities of sugars, and I know some of the actual sugars, when you melt them down, some will go clear and some won't. So some will go creamy, some will go yellow. Okay, it's 1 cup, so don't forget we're putting in 1.25 kilos of sugar in this mix. Trying to not overkill the water with heat. You know, we only want to get it just about 85 degrees, so that kills all the bacteria, and we want to melt down the sugar. there we go. And once that melts down, I'll turn it off, and I'll actually put the saucepan in the sink with some water to rapidly cool it a little bit more. Okay, so we'll get to the next stage in just a minute. Okay, roosters, what we're going to do now is we're going to add these ingredients. So what I've done is, you know, I've just melted down the sugar with just over a litre of water. Now I've topped this up and cooled it down. It's got 5 litres of water in it. You can put it in the actual brewing container, but I'm just going to do it here on the beach for you. So with this, I like to get my pH levels right. I know that it's going to increase, so I have to decrease it first. Plus, I like the taste of lemon in it. So we're going to put 75 millilitres of lemon juice in it. Once again, lemon, honey, sugar, ginger, beautiful. Right, so we've got that in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add their essence. Okay, we'll have a smell. Yep, smells a bit gingery to me. In we go. Just wash that out with a bit of water. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to stir in. And now what we're going to do is put it actually in our brewer's bucket, our fermenter, our vessel, and then I'll top it up with water. And because I want a really high strength actual ginger beer in the alcohol, I'll only put 18 litres in it, but actually I'll actually be putting 17.5 litres because I've got my yeast to go in. So okay, I'll get to you when I get to the next stage. Okay guys, so now we're going to do the gluco amylase enzyme. Basically it's really easy. I've got my 17.5 litres of liquid in there. It's at the right temperature. It's about 25 degrees. Gluco does like to be about 30, but as long as it's in that rough area, it'll still work, and I'll tip it in. And it doesn't matter, you know, like some, you know, packets will have a little bit less and some will have more in it, but generally they're made for 20 litre batches. Well, this one's to be 12 grams. So in it goes, and you know, you don't want to put too much, but you don't want to put it too less either. So, and it will not make any difference in the taste. So we'll give that a nice little stir, mix it through, and we're going to leave it for 1 hour, then come back and give it a stir. Okay, there you go. Roosters, just finished my ginger beer. Just letting you know, I ended up putting 2.25 kilos of sugar in it. I wasn't happy with the alcohol content with the 1 kilo or 1.25 I was originally going to put in it. Don't forget, it had originally put in a little bit of honey in it as well as a little bit of ginger. This is the Conley West brand. We'll give that a go. I have had the Morgan's one, that is quite nice. It'll be interesting to see what this one's like. So anyhow, I believe the alcohol content of these will be about 4.5%, and that's with 2.25 kilos of sugar in it, with the honey as well. So anyhow, we'll put them away, and we'll get back to us in a couple of weeks with a taste test. It could even take up to a month with ginger beer. So anyhow, good brewing guys. See you later.